as how to just get started, this is what I recommend day one. If the very, very first day, I think your number one goal is to get the kids to love what they do and get them so excited to come back the next week. So I would not do it curriculum based. I would not do it anything too deep, but I would keep it fun. And I would get them up and I would get them dancing and I would get them moving and get them sweating like crazy. So get them moving. Then the next week, then you can slowly go deeper and deeper into curricular ideas, and they will be with you and they'll be excited to come to dance every week.
The first week of school, actually, I chose to have the kids come in and just basically move. We live in a small community where dance has always been just a private endeavor, and most boys had never had it. And so we just got the kids in that first week of school, and there was no cross-curriculum whatsoever for several weeks. We taught basically the qualities of movement for the first month. We taught just the spatial awareness. We taught body awareness, all of that, and the kids ate it up, especially the boys. And so that was probably our biggest thing, was we decided we just had to introduce the concept of dance first.
I think mostly just to relax and have fun, get the kids moving and having fun and singing and interacting with the other students. And then it all comes together. And be patient with yourself as far as the core curriculum, and it will come over time.
When you very first dive into this job, first of all, you have to deal with the space that you've been given, and you never know what that space will be. Some people have little classrooms that they're going to go from classroom to classroom to teach dance. Some people will have a nice big gym. I've seen people teach in a lobby of the school.
I have actually taught in the hallways. I've taught on the stage. I've taught in the classroom. I've had a gym. I now teach in a lunchroom.
I've taught on the stage. I've taught in the hallway. I've taught outside. I haven't taught in the closet yet. That may happen. Sometimes we try to defy gravity and teach on the ceiling.
So you just have to deal with what you get. If you do have a nice gym or space, you're welcome to put up, word walls or pictures or whatever you want that way, but that's totally up to you.
You can do this in any situation. A lot of times we'll go into the classroom and just move chairs and desks out of the way, and you can still make it all happen.
Any place that you're working, even if it is in a hallway, understand that you are a valid part of your school community. You have just as much right to be wherever you're at as any other teacher. And sometimes teachers, if you have to have the kids come in and you have to have them move their desk quickly, the kids do it, and they put them back just as quick. And the thing is that change is hard for everyone at first. This is a whole new experience for most of us as dance teachers, because we're used to dancing in studios, and all of a sudden we're stuck in hallways, or we're stuck in classrooms, or we're stuck in the lunchroom. And we just need to understand that that's a hard change for us. But if you're working with your teachers and you say, I need to have you move the tables, the first few weeks that's going to be hard because it's a change. But after that, they're used to it and they get it going. The cafeteria ladies know, all right, we're going to wait to open up our doors to be super noisy until the very last minute. And at first, that's not what they were used to. But everybody learns to work together, and it's great.
Equipment. Let's talk about that for just a minute. What would you need? I taught for 10 years at one school, and I never had a microphone system. And then when I went into the BTS world, I started using a mic, and I will never go back. I think the very first thing on my list of things that I would get would be a microphone and a little headset mic, and then you can talk to the kids in your big space. And you can talk over the music, and you can still keep them dancing and teaching while they're moving the whole time. So I love my microphone. The other thing is you need good sound system. You're going to need, if they don't have a sound system already built in, or if you're in traveling kind of space, you need a good system that will let the music play loud and clear.
I think learning how to use a drum and learning how to beat out rhythms is very helpful in having a command over your classroom. And children learn how to move and how to listen to those commands. and then they're able to be more creative because they know what to expect.
Teaching in a very short amount of time, visuals, visuals, visuals. A picture says 1,000 words. And you can be going through a lesson and your child that takes a little bit longer to comprehend something, that visual is always still there up on the board that they can look at, and they might not get what you're trying to teach them at first, but if that visual is there, even if it's 5-10 minutes later, they finally go, aha, or if it's the next week or a week after that, visuals, visuals, visuals. I have a whiteboard, and I love my whiteboard. It's a whiteboard on wheels, and it's double-sided. So I can actually have at least 2 classes, different concepts or different lessons on this whiteboard. And as I've needed to, I've been able to take the whiteboard down the hall with me, and the visuals are there, it's already set, and I can just turn it around for one class or turn it around for the other class.
Then, once you get those basic things, then you can start to look into getting maybe some things for the kids. You could get some basic props. And a lot of times the kids already have, the schools already have maybe some little scarves or something in the PE equipment. But you might want a set of scarves or a set of ribbons or a set of elastics or some of those basic props that you could use here and there.
I learned early on that if you do too much talking, you lose the children. So I like to come in and get moving right away.
They had an assignment, and it was a pretty kind of a self-starting assignment where they had to follow the signs on each corner of the room. So each corner of the room, each wall would have a sign with a dance vocabulary word. And I would change those every time they came into the class, but it was a self-start activity, and it works. So the kids come in, take off their shoes and socks, put their socks inside their shoes, place them against the back little step area, make it look nice and tidy, and then they start following the signs. The music's playing the whole time.
When we first started teaching, the teachers said to us, we would rather have you go deep than wide. So I have found that in a short amount of time, it's better to take one topic. Don't feel like you have to cover every aspect. Take one topic and go deep. The kids will love it. They'll enjoy it. They won't feel like, whoa, there's so much thrown into this. It's a whirlwind. Go deep instead of wide.
I never planned a lesson plan without talking to the teacher. So I'll run to second grade teacher and say, what are you guys working on right now? And they always told me, okay, well, right now we're working on adaptation and hibernation and migration, or whatever they're working on. And so then I would create a lesson plan that would deal with that topic. And then we would dive right in. I like them dancing more than sitting, get them up and moving. You can teach a lot while they're moving.
It's always important, though, to have the kids realize that this is still a dance class and they need to have movement. So even if it's the very first thing that you do or the very last thing that you do during that short amount of time, spend 2 minutes to do a routine that is very simple. Like, say, a goodbye dance. The kids can go through, and as they're leaving class, you turn on some crazy music. One at a time, they go through and they do their goodbye dance. It can be related to what you've studied that day, or it can be totally whatever. You're giving the kids a chance to express themselves.
At the end of the lesson, you could have some kind of a closure activity where you just reinforce the objective really fast, and then they can be done, and then they go get their shoes and socks on, and then they leave. Now, as I'm planning throughout the whole year, I could not personally sit down and plan the whole year by myself. I can't do that because I'm always connecting with the teachers first before I start to plan my lessons. So I would go to, like I said, to the teachers, and sometimes I'd go into their meetings. They'd have little team meetings, and they'd be talking about what they're working on. Or sometimes I would catch them at lunch, or whatever you can do to find out what they're working on in their classroom so that you can complement what they're working on. But from there, I usually would do it kind of month to month, and I always knew what they were doing that month. And then I would plan my lesson plans around what they're working on in the classroom. Every once in a while, if there's a time you just don't know, maybe that's a good time to throw in a dance for dance sake kind of lesson. Or a folk dance is a lot of fun too, and you can throw that in every once in a while as well. But yeah, so anyway, as far as planning the whole year, you have to communicate with the teachers. Sometimes the teachers have a full curriculum map that they'll give you, and you can look at that and then go from there. And sometimes they don't. So you have to just keep communication wide open with the teachers.
Okay, now for integration. I have realized after this many years that you can integrate every single time. Math is dance. Dance is verbs, adverbs. Art is adjectives, nouns, math. You can integrate every single lesson, but it comes with just teaching, because pretty soon you figure out that it's all integrated. I think that's the wonderful thing now with all curriculum in every grade level, even in the high school. I get together with the high school teachers and we integrate.
And especially with dance, every art form can be part of it. Singing, dancing, artwork, color, and it just brings, it brings life to life.
So you're just starting out and you're wondering where to get your ideas for lesson plans. And actually, it's easy because you've communicated with your teachers and you know what they're studying in the classroom. So that's the first thing. But when you get an idea from the teacher, let's just say it's the rock cycle in 4th grade. Okay, we're learning about rocks and minerals. I just always created all my lesson plans. I created 95% of all my lesson plans because I like to do that. But if you don't like to do that, then there are other lesson plans that you can find in different sites, and one of them is the BTS program. You can go on there and they will have lesson plans, and I've submitted 30 of them for the dance, and other dance people have as well, so you don't have to come up with every single lesson plan by yourself. You can also go to BYU Art Partnership, and we have lots of lesson plans through that.
I got the ideas from the Tanner Dance Studio. They gave me the music, and then I did the choreography. A lot of the ideas that I get throughout the year for lessons that incorporate core curriculum, I get from Arts Express. I've gotten a lot of ideas from Jana Shumway. And then as you get ideas, they springboard into other ideas, and you start to become more creative, and you start to look at the world differently.
Now, if you are creating a lesson plan, take that idea and first go to the UEN website. Study what they need to know from the core standards that we have for our state. You need to read it all the way through. Also, on the UEN website, they have lesson plan ideas, and they're not dance lesson plan ideas, but I've gotten a lot of my ideas from those lesson plans, and I've kind of triggered it into and connected it with dance. They also have, in those lesson plans, they have this teacher information paragraph, which is wonderful because it gives all this basic information about what they need to know about that topic. And I've read a lot of those before I start to develop my own lesson plan, and it gives me a lot of basic information that they need to know about that curricular subject. And then you learn all that curriculum, and then you start plugging in the elements of dance and seeing how you can get those kids to move those concepts.
All right, as a resource for any new specialist, I would highly recommend these 2 books. They give you wonderful, wonderful ideas on how to teach young children movement. And I would suggest to any new specialist, ask questions. Say, I need help. Get our emails so that we can send out our lesson plans. I have never once used exactly a lesson plan I've given, but it has given me a springboard. And I think that's what's the most important thing to do, because this becomes overwhelming. And so ask questions. Go to Arts Express. Go to UDEA, the Utah Dance Education Workshops. Go to Tanner Dance. That was phenomenal for the week-long summer conference. Take in as much as you can and just ask questions. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
There's more and more support. There's more dance specialists. And it's a beautiful thing in this program because you can connect with all your dance specialist friends. And one person can write a lesson plan about this, and you can write one about this, and you can exchange them. And it's fun to share those ideas.